Alright, so 2-minute Tanya tidbit for today. So in yesterday's Tanya, we explained the idea that there's a concept of a Beinoni who is one who serves God. There's also the idea of a Beinoni who doesn't serve God. And this is because people serve God only based on what comes naturally to them, what's easy for them, or even if it starts off as difficulty, but then he just gets used to it. It's no longer requires effort, then he's no longer putting in work. And that's someone who's called doesn't serve God. Because at the moment he's not struggling to serve God. Then there's someone who serves God, which means that he goes out of his comfort zone. He does more than he's used to, and he actually has to struggle in order to serve God. And the Alter Rebbe says in today's Tanya, now we can understand the idea that it says in the Gemara that someone who learns what he studies and he does chazara 100 times is someone who doesn't serve God. Someone who goes and learns it 101 times, he's someone who serves God. Seemingly, why does that one extra time make you into the category of someone who serves God? But the explanation is because the norm in those days was to learn everything 100 times. So if you're learning it 100 times, you're just doing what comes natural to you, what's normal to you. You didn't put in any extra work. You were just living your regular life, living your regular nature. So for you, that didn't take any extra effort. You're not called an Eved Hashem, someone who's currently struggling to serve God. But if you go for that one extra time, that's difficult. That's more than what you're used to doing. That makes you serve God, and therefore you're called a servant of God at that time. This is also the idea of the analogy, which is brought over there from someone who has a donkey driver. There were donkey drivers in those times who would take a person up to 10 parsa, a certain distance, for one zuz. 1 coin you can go for this distance. But if you're going for 11 parsa, a little bit further, you have to pay 2 coins. Why is that little bit cost so much extra? Because they're normal to go within those 10 miles, 10 parsa. So if you're paying within their regular zone, it's one price. But as soon as you push them a little bit more than they're used to, that's out of their comfort zone. So too with the Beinoni. That one thing that he pushes himself a little bit more is what gives him the category of someone who serves God. And that one little bit that he does more rises up above all other stuff. It's considered worth so much more, and the quality of that learning is so much more. The service of God for that one little bit is so much more. Why is that? Because he has to arouse a love for God, and he has to think about God's greatness in order that he should feel for God in a great, strong way, in order to overcome the desires from the left side of his heart, in order to overcome the desires of the evil inclination. So the fact that he has to struggle and come up with this love for God is a full service for a Beinoni, and that takes a lot of effort. Or even if he arouses the natural love which already exists within his heart, but if he has to bring it out to the surface, is also a lot of work, and that's someone who's serving God. So as long as he's working and actually arousing the love in order to serve God, that's called a server of Hashem. Someone has to actually put an effort to be able to be a Beinoni. And that's the idea of someone who actually tries. And then there's people who just do things naturally. If you didn't arouse the love and you're just relying on what's there naturally, so you didn't put in any effort, in which case you're not someone who's called serving God at the moment. That's the end of this parak. See you next time.